Hello learners, welcome back to another section on agro-processing industries. So today we will be discussing on the legal aspects relating to the food processing of India. So we'll see what are the major legal aspects associated with the food processing industry. So the first one is related to the industrial licensing policy. No industrial license is required for most of the food processing industries except the beer, potable alcohol or wine, cane sugar, and hydrogenated animal fats and oil. So, other than these listed four, no industries or no processing industries require any industrial licensing policies. Okay, small scale reservation licensing. Certain items are reserved for exclusively for manufacturing, like pickles, chutneys, bread, confectionaries, rapeseeds, mustard, sesame, groundnut oil, and the ground and processed spices and others other than spice oil and oleoresins, sweetened cashew nut products, tapioca sago and tapioca flour. Like these require certain reservations for manufacturing. That is. They falls under the small scale reservation licensing. Okay, and next is guidelines regarding the foreign investment in the sector. What are the guidelines for accepting foreign investment? There are no specific guidelines applicable only to the food processing industry in relation to the foreign investment. The RBI has come out with the guidelines which regulate foreign investment in India, and these guidelines are applicable to the food processing of India. As of RBI, they have brought up with certain guidelines for normal foreign investment. The same is applicable to the for food processing industry. The requirement of dividend balancing has been removed in relation to the foreign investment in food processing industries. The Reserve Bank of India has given automatic investment approval for investment in the food processing industries, except they have given investment approval except to certain items like maldated food, alcoholic beverages, beer, and those items reserved for the small scale sectors up to only 51%, and the foreign equity 400% for the NRI investment, including investment by the overseas bodies, corporates owned to the extent and at least by 60% by the non-residential, that is NRIs. Okay, and the foreign technology agreements are also permitted subject to certain specified norms, and in certain cases, however, the dividend balancing has become applicable, and the dividend outflow from the country cannot be exceed the foreign exchange brought into India by way of the net exchange earnings. When we compare the net exchange earnings, the dividend outflow from the country should not be more. Like the inflow can be more, but the outflow should not be more. Okay, next, the use of foreign brand is freely allowed. Even in the small scale sector, 24% of the foreign equity is also allowed. Once a foreign investment is approved, there are certain reporting requirements to be compiled with this foreign investment. They are under the Indian law. Temporary permission may be granted to the investors who want to determine the market potential for their products, and temporary permission may be given for the test marketing, that is pilot study, for prior to the submission of an investment proposal. Approvals for the import of test marketing should be form of the company's investment plan. For this purpose, the Director General of Foreign Trade is given the right authority in relation to this approval regarding the temporary permission. And next is other acts applicable to the food processing industries are, first one is Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. The Prevention of Food Adulteration Act came up in the year 1954 and is a primary law which protect the consumers against the adulterated foodstuffs. It is similar to the FDA for there is of the United States in operation, and this the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act helps is applicable not just to the domestic food stuff but also to the all kind of imported foodstuffs also. Okay, it covers various aspects of food processing such as food color, preservatives, pesticide residues, packaging and labeling, regulations of the sales, etc. The Additional Director General of the Health Service and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of the central government is also enforcing and checking about the law. Okay, next law is the next act on this food processing industries are the Essential Commodities Act of that is 1955. Okay, this is another law which is applicable to the food processing industry. This act provides for the control of the production, supply and distribution and trade of trade and commerce in certain essential commodities, examples like foodstuff, under emergency and exceptional situations such as acute scarcity and national security. Okay, this Essential Commodity Act it enables, or that act provides for the control of the production, supply and distribution in the trade and commerce of essential commodities. Okay, now the taxation laws. Taxation law also we need to understand. There are no tax laws applicable solely to the food processing industry. Okay, certain tax exemptions or redemptions are there. The first one is the income tax. The Income Tax Act of 1961 deals with some deductions in the respect to the profits and gains of 100% for the first 5 years and 25% deduction for the next 5 years, which we have already discussed in the government initiatives towards food processing industry. Next, reduction is permitted for the expenditure incurred on investment in the capital for setting up the food processing industry. Next, a deduction will be given on the total capital investment in the initial capital investment. Next is the excise duty, which we have already discussed. The excise duty is applicable on the products manufactured particularly in India, and the rates of excise duty vary from the product to product. Okay, next is the sales tax. In India, the sales tax is administered and collected by the state government. Therefore, each state has its own state sales tax act, which regulate the sales of goods within that state and fixes the rate of sales tax and enforces the administration of that act. Okay, and however, there is a central sales tax act which regulates the interstate sales and taxation. This law fixes the rate of sales tax for the interstate sales. This central sales tax is only applicable for the interstate sales related aspects. Okay, the state government however do the administration for the other activities. Other all state related activities or state sales tax act is based on particular to each state. So by this we complete the certain policies and the foreign investment activities, the foreign investment aspects in relation to the food processing industries. What are the major legal aspects, what are the tax benefits, what are the tax exceptions, all those things we have understood in relation to the food processing industry of India. Okay, so thank you all.